There are moments when silence speaks louder than any voice you've ever heard. When the space between your thoughts becomes more real than the thoughts themselves. When you realize that what you've been searching for outside has always been breathing inside you. You know that feeling, don't you? That invisible weight that follows you through crowded rooms, making you feel like an exile among your own kind. The unexplained fatigue that settles in your bones after certain conversations, as if something vital had been drained from your very essence. The days when you wake up feeling like you've been walking through fog, unable to touch the life that seems to happen around you but never quite through you. This isn't just sensitivity. This isn't just being too much or too little for this world. This is your soul recognizing what your mind has forgotten, that you exist within an invisible field of energy that shapes everything you touch and everything that touches you. What if I told you that the emptiness you sometimes feel isn't absence, but presence? That the invisible force you sense around certain people, in certain places, during certain moments of deep stillness, is not imagination, but the most real thing about your existence. You are not just flesh walking through space. You are consciousness moving through an ocean of energy, and every thought, every emotion, every intention creates ripples that reach further than your eyes can see. The mystics knew this. The quantum physicists are discovering this. Your soul has always remembered this. But here's what changes everything. This field doesn't just surround you. You are it, and it responds to who you become. In the space between sleep and waking, someone stands in their kitchen, feeling the weight of invisible presences. The house breathes with old arguments, thick sorrows, the residue of all who have lived within these walls. For years, this person had apologized for sensing what others couldn't see, called themselves too sensitive, for feeling the shadow that lingered after harsh words, for knowing when the phone would ring with difficult news. But on this particular night, something shifts. Instead of escaping the heaviness, they place their hands on the counter and breathe into it. For the first time, they acknowledge what has always been there. I see you. I feel you. What do you need? The house exhales. The heaviness lifts. Understanding arrives like dawn. Sensitivity was never the burden. It was the gift. They weren't feeling too much. They were feeling what was actually there. In the teachings of Manly P. Hall, there's a story of a student who came to his master complaining that he felt powerless in a world that seemed to drain his very life force. The master led him to a still pond and asked him to describe what he saw. My reflection, the student replied. Look deeper. The student stared longer. I see ripples. Even when I'm perfectly still, there are ripples moving across the surface. Those ripples, the master said, are your thoughts, your emotions, your very presence creating movement in the field of existence. You are never powerless. You are always creating. The question is, are you creating consciously? The student looked again and saw not just ripples, but waves emanating from his reflection, reaching the far shores of the pond. He realized that every moment of his life, he had been shaping the world around him. He had just never learned how to do it intentionally. There's an ancient practice among certain mystic traditions. When someone feels lost in the noise of the world, they are sent to spend time in complete solitude, not to escape life, but to remember who they are beneath the constant exchange of energies with others. One seeker following this practice spent 7 days alone in silence. On the third day, they felt invisible layers peeling away from their skin. By the 5th day, they could sense the boundaries of their own energy field as distinctly as their physical body. On the 7th day, understanding arrived. They had never been separate from anything. The field that surrounded them was the same field that surrounded everything else. Individual yet universal, unique yet connected, personal yet infinite. When they returned to the world, people noticed something different about their presence. Conversations flowed differently around them. Conflicts seemed to dissolve in their vicinity. Children and animals were drawn to them. They hadn't learned to manipulate energy. They had learned to embody their natural state. They had remembered how to be a healing presence simply by being authentically themselves. What we call energy is what Carl Jung understood as the psychic field that connects all consciousness. It's what quantum physicists describe as the field of infinite potential that responds to observation. It's what indigenous wisdom keepers have always known as the web that connects all life. This field carries information. It holds the emotional residue of every interaction, the psychic imprint of every thought, the vibrational signature of every intention. When you walk into a room where people have been arguing, you feel it. When you spend time with someone who loves deeply, you absorb it. When you think thoughts of gratitude or fear, you broadcast them. But here's what most people don't understand. This field isn't just influenced by your emotions, it's shaped by your level of consciousness. The more aware you become of your inner world, your shadows, your wounds, your authentic self, the more coherent your energetic signature becomes. The more coherent your energy, the more powerfully it influences everything around you. This is why healing your own trauma changes the energy of your family line. This is why developing authentic self-love attracts more love into your life. This is why facing your shadows makes you more capable of holding space for others' darkness. You're not just changing yourself, you're changing the field itself. There's something you've always known but never named. The way certain spaces make your soul contract before your mind understands why. How your inner weather seems to ripple outward, touching everyone around you in ways that logic cannot explain. You sense the invisible threads that connect all things, feel them pulling, vibrating, singing the songs of joy and sorrow that move between hearts without ever needing words. Tonight before you sleep, try this. Sit in stillness for a few moments and imagine that you can see the invisible field of energy that surrounds your body. Don't worry if you can't visualize it clearly. Simply intend to become aware of it. Now, place one hand on your heart and breathe into that space. With each breath, imagine this field expanding slightly, first just beyond your skin, then filling the space around you, then reaching to the edges of the room. Don't force it. Simply allow it to expand naturally. As you do this, set a gentle intention. I am aware of my energetic presence. I choose to make it a healing presence. Sit with this intention for a few breaths, then let it go. This simple practice begins to awaken your conscious relationship with the field. The more you practice this awareness, the more you'll notice how your inner state affects everything around you, and how you can choose to make that influence a gift to the world. Recent discoveries show that the heart creates an invisible web of influence 60 times stronger than the mind's web, reaching several feet beyond the physical body like ripples in still water. We sync our life rhythms with others through processes our eyes cannot see, but our souls have always felt. In the quantum realm, particles dance together across infinite distances, responding to each other as if space and time were merely dreams. But Manly P. Hall understood this long before modern science could measure it. In his teachings, he described the human being as existing on multiple levels simultaneously: physical, emotional, mental, and spiritual, with each level generating its own field of influence. He taught that mastery isn't about controlling others, but about achieving such inner harmony that your natural state becomes a blessing to everything you encounter. Here's what many spiritual teachings don't tell you. If you're unconscious of your inner world, you're still influencing the field, but chaotically. Unresolved trauma broadcasts itself. Suppressed emotions leak out energetically. Inner conflicts create energetic noise that others feel as confusion or discomfort. This is why someone can say all the right words but feel off to you. This is why certain people make you feel drained even when they're trying to be positive. This is why authentic presence is so rare and so powerful. Most people are broadcasting multiple contradictory signals at once. True influence comes from coherence, when your thoughts, emotions, and actions are aligned with your deepest values and authentic self. When there's no contradiction between who you are inside and who you present to the world. When you've integrated your shadows enough that they're not running unconscious programs in the background. This coherence creates what researchers call heart coherence, a measurable state where the heart, mind, and emotions are in harmonious alignment. In this state, your energetic field becomes naturally healing to others. You don't have to try to influence anyone. Your presence becomes the influence. Every space holds the energetic residue of what has happened there. Some places feel heavy because of old arguments, unprocessed grief, or generations of emotional suppression. Other places feel light because they've been filled with love, laughter, and authentic connection. You can feel this. You walk into some homes and immediately relax. You enter certain offices and feel your energy drain. You visit some natural places and feel your soul expand. This isn't coincidence. This is the field carrying information. When you understand that spaces hold energy, you realize that you can consciously influence them, not through force or manipulation, but through presence. When you walk into a heavy room and bring your conscious awareness to it, you're already beginning to shift it. One woman discovered this when she started a new job in an office that felt thick with tension and unspoken conflicts. Instead of adding to the chaos, she began a simple practice. Every morning when she arrived, she would sit at her desk for a few moments and silently set an intention for the space to be filled with peace and clarity. Within weeks, people began commenting on how different the office felt. Conflicts seemed to resolve more easily. Communication improved. New opportunities appeared. She hadn't done anything dramatic. She had simply chosen to be a conscious presence in an unconscious environment. This doesn't mean becoming a spiritual doormat or absorbing everyone's emotional chaos. True sensitivity requires strong energetic boundaries, the ability to feel what's there without taking it on as your own. Imagine your energy field as having a semi-permeable membrane. You can choose what you absorb and what you reflect back. You can send love to someone's pain without making their pain yours. You can acknowledge difficult energies without being overwhelmed by them. Sometimes you'll notice signs that your energetic field needs attention. Physical symptoms like chronic fatigue, mysterious aches, or difficulty sleeping. Emotional symptoms like irritability, overwhelm, or feeling disconnected from joy. Mental symptoms like brain fog, difficulty concentrating or racing thoughts. These aren't always signs of something wrong. They're often signs that you've been giving more energy than you're receiving or absorbing energies that don't belong to you. Your field is asking for restoration. There's something about natural environments that automatically restores energetic balance. The negative ions generated by moving water, the grounding effect of bare feet on earth, the full spectrum light of sunrise and sunset, the rhythmic patterns of waves, wind through trees, the cycles of growth and decay. Indigenous wisdom keepers understood this. They knew that regular connection with natural elements wasn't just pleasant, it was essential for maintaining energetic health. The earth literally absorbs excess electrical charge from your body. Water cleanses not just physically, but energetically. Fire transforms what no longer serves you. One man, struggling with chronic anxiety and insomnia, began spending 30 minutes each morning sitting barefoot in his garden. Within a month, his sleep improved. Within 3 months, his anxiety had significantly decreased. He hadn't changed his diet or started medication. He had simply remembered his connection to the living system of which he was a part. Just as you shower your body regularly, your energy field needs regular cleansing. This might look like conscious breathing practices that help you release what you've absorbed during the day. It might involve visualization techniques where you imagine light flowing through and around you, washing away anything that isn't yours. Some people find that salt baths help them energetically reset. Others use sound, singing, chanting, or listening to specific frequencies. Still others use movement, dancing, stretching, or simply shaking their body to discharge stagnant energy. The key is finding what works for your unique system and making it a regular practice, not something you only do when you're overwhelmed. Every interaction is an energetic exchange. Some people naturally give more energy than they receive. These are often the healers, empaths, and natural caregivers. Others tend to draw more energy than they give, sometimes consciously, sometimes unconsciously. Neither pattern is wrong, but awareness makes all the difference. When you know your natural tendency, you can make conscious choices about how to engage with different people. You can learn to give without depleting yourself. You can learn to receive without feeling guilty. You can learn to set boundaries that preserve your energy for what matters most to you. One of the most profound aspects of working with the energy field is discovering that distance doesn't seem to matter. When you think of someone with genuine love, they often call or text soon after. When you hold space for healing for someone far away, they sometimes report feeling better without knowing why. This isn't wishful thinking or coincidence. Quantum entanglement suggests that consciousness itself operates outside the normal rules of space and time. Indigenous traditions have always known that prayer and intention can reach across any distance. Modern research on distant healing shows statistically significant results that science can't yet explain but can't ignore. As you become more aware of your energetic influence, you may feel the weight of responsibility. If your thoughts and emotions really do affect others, how do you handle the times when you're struggling, angry, or in pain? The answer isn't to suppress difficult emotions or pretend to be positive when you're not. The answer is to become more conscious of your inner world so that you can process challenging energies rather than broadcasting them unconsciously. It's learning to hold your pain with compassion rather than projecting it onto others. It's developing the capacity to feel deeply while maintaining inner equilibrium. As you develop your relationship with the energy field, you may notice changes in how you experience life. Colors might seem more vivid. You might become more sensitive to sounds, textures, or environmental factors. You might find yourself naturally knowing things about people or situations without being told. Some people report increased intuitive abilities, suddenly knowing who's calling before they look at their phone, having dreams that later come true, or sensing when something significant is about to happen. Others notice that they can feel the emotional state of rooms before entering them, or that plants and animals respond differently to their presence. This awakening isn't always comfortable. You might find that you can no longer tolerate certain environments, foods, or relationships that once seemed fine. You might feel overwhelmed by crowds, noise, or the emotional intensity of others. This isn't a step backward. It's your system becoming more discerning about what supports your well-being and what depletes it. This phase requires extra gentleness with yourself. Your nervous system is adapting to processing more information. Give yourself permission to make changes in your lifestyle to support this transformation. Honor your new sensitivities rather than judging them as weaknesses. Eventually, the heightened sensitivity stabilizes into a new way of being. You develop natural energetic boundaries that protect without isolating. You learn to sense the energy field without being overwhelmed by it. You discover that your presence can be healing without needing to fix or change anyone. This is true mastery, not the ability to manipulate energy for personal gain, but the capacity to embody such inner harmony that your natural state serves the highest good of all. You become a tuning fork for peace, love, and authentic connection. Before engaging with the world each day, take a few moments to consciously prepare your energy field. This might involve setting an intention for how you want to show up, visualizing yourself surrounded by protective light, or simply taking a few deep breaths while connecting with your authentic self. One practice that many find powerful is the energetic weather check, briefly sensing the quality of your inner environment before leaving home. Are you feeling scattered? Take a moment to center. Are you carrying worry from yesterday? Release it consciously. Are you feeling closed-hearted? Open gently to love. Your workplace breathes with the collective dreams and fears of all who enter. You can sense this, the way some offices feel thick with unspoken tensions, how certain meeting rooms carry the residue of old conflicts like invisible smoke. One person discovered they could transform this simply through presence. Each morning, they would sit quietly and offer their space to peace and clarity. Within weeks, the invisible atmosphere had shifted. Conflicts dissolved more easily. Communication flowed like water, finding its natural course. They had become a tuning fork for harmony without saying a word about what they were doing. If you're a parent, understanding energy fields completely transforms how you approach raising children. Children are naturally open to energetic information. They can sense your inner state far more accurately than they can understand your words. This means that how you handle your own emotions, stress, and inner conflicts directly affects your children's well-being. When you work on healing your own wounds and maintaining inner balance, you're giving your children a gift that will influence their entire lives. Science has discovered that the heart contains its own mind, a neural network of 40,000 cells that learn, remember, and dream independently of the head brain. When these two minds harmonize, the entire body becomes an instrument of coherent influence, like an orchestra finally playing the same symphony. This harmony can be cultivated through practices as simple as breathing gratitude into your heart space. In these moments of coherence, your invisible field becomes organized, powerful, naturally healing to everything it touches. Mirror neurons fire both when you perform an action and when you observe someone else performing the same action. This neurological basis for empathy means that you're literally sharing the inner experiences of people around you at a cellular level. This explains why spending time with calm people helps you feel calmer, and why being around anxiety tends to increase your own anxiety. It also explains why your inner state has such a profound impact on others. They're mirroring your neural patterns, whether you realize it or not. Neuroscientists have discovered that when the brain isn't focused on a specific task, it defaults to a network of self-referential thinking, often worry, planning, or rumination. This default mode network consumes enormous amounts of energy and creates mental noise that affects your energetic signature. Meditation, mindfulness, and other contemplative practices help quiet this network, allowing your natural presence to emerge. In these states, your energy field becomes cleaner, more coherent, and more naturally healing to others. As above, so below, as within, so without. This ancient hermetic principle perfectly describes the relationship between your inner world and your energetic influence. What happens in your consciousness is reflected in the field around you. What you heal within yourself creates healing ripples that reach far beyond your physical presence. Quantum physics describes reality as an interconnected field of energy and information, rather than separate objects moving through empty space. Every observation changes what's being observed. Every measurement affects the entire system. This isn't mystical speculation, it's measurable scientific reality. Your consciousness is constantly observing and therefore influencing the quantum field. Your beliefs, expectations, and emotional states serve as filters that determine what possibilities collapse into your experienced reality. Many wisdom traditions speak of an informational field that stores the collective memory and knowledge of all existence. Modern physics proposes similar concepts, fields of information that underlie physical reality and connect all things across space and time. Whether you call it the Akashic Records, the zero-point field, or collective consciousness, the implication is the same. Individual awareness participates in a larger intelligence that transcends ordinary boundaries of space, time, and separate selfhood. With the understanding that your energy field affects everyone around you comes responsibility. This isn't about becoming perfect or suppressing all difficult emotions. It's about developing the maturity to process your inner world consciously, rather than unconsciously broadcasting it. True ethical influence comes from inner work. The more honestly you face your own shadows, wounds, and unconscious patterns, the cleaner your energetic influence becomes. You can't give what you don't have, and you can't avoid giving what you do have. The most powerful energetic influence often comes from complete non-attachment to outcomes. When you're desperate for someone to change, that desperation creates energetic noise that actually prevents the very change you're hoping for. When you can hold space for transformation without needing it to happen, you create the conditions where it can occur naturally. This is why the most effective healers, teachers, and leaders often seem to work effortlessly. They're not trying to force anything. They're simply embodying the change they wish to see and trusting the field to respond. At the highest levels of mastery, you realize that you don't do anything to the energy field. You become a frequency within it. Your very being becomes the influence. Your presence becomes the teaching. Your authentic self becomes the healing. This isn't something you achieve once and maintain forever. It's a daily practice of alignment, a constant choosing to embody love over fear, consciousness over unconsciousness, authentic self-expression over people-pleasing or defensive posturing. What we call spiritual awakening might be better understood as remembering what was never actually lost. The energy field isn't something you learn to access. It's what you're made of. The influence you have on reality isn't a power you develop. It's how consciousness naturally operates. The journey is about removing the veils of conditioning, trauma, and false beliefs that obscure your natural state. Like cleaning dust off a mirror, the work is about revealing what was always there rather than creating something new. As more individuals remember their true nature and learn to embody conscious presence, the collective energy field itself transforms. Each person who does their inner work makes it easier for others to do theirs. Each individual who embodies authentic love creates space for more love to emerge in the world. This isn't naive optimism. It's understanding how fields work. When enough nodes in a network reach a new level of coherence, the entire system can spontaneously shift to a higher order of organization. The energy field that surrounds you is not separate from you. It is you, the invisible part of your being that extends beyond the boundaries of your skin, that connects you to everything that exists, that responds to who you are at the deepest level. Modern science speaks of webs of influence generated by heart and mind. Ancient traditions speak of the soul's luminous body connecting all life. They are pointing to the same truth. You are not just flesh moving through space, but consciousness itself, temporarily focused in form, eternally connected to the whole. True mastery is not about controlling this field. It is about remembering that you are it. It is about aligning so completely with your authentic self that your natural state becomes a gift to everything you touch. The work is simple: awareness of your inner landscape, practice of presence, coherence between who you are inside and who you offer to the world. As you do this work, something beautiful happens. You stop trying to become someone else and start being more fully yourself. You stop trying to fix the world and start embodying the change you wish to see. You stop searching for meaning outside yourself and start recognizing that you are meaning itself, temporarily focused in this time and place. The field isn't just around you. It breathes with you, dreams with you, loves with you. You don't have to do anything to it. You just have to become so authentically yourself that your natural frequency serves the highest good of all. This is the secret that has come to you for a reason. This is the remembering your soul has been waiting for. The field is you, awakening to what you've always been.